Hello newcomers and old, I am Cole Scratches. Who remembers The Thing?
Everyone!
Who remembers Society?
Fucking what?
Okay, I'm exaggerating, but it's fair to say the much cheesier and fun Society lives in the solid shadow of its more accomplished older brother, and it's not hard to see why. For one thing, The Thing dropped in 1981, and its memory stuck out from the crowd as being a genuinely unsettling experience in a decade that's usually marked for its more light-hearted take on the genre. The 80s was a time of fun horror, when filmmakers realized most horror premises are actually pretty ridiculous, and instead of shying away from that fact, they leaned into it, to the point of almost making fun of themselves. Friday the 13th, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Evil Dead, Gremlins, and more forgotten C-listers than I can recount. And way down on the other side of the decade, we find Society in 1981. The same overall monster, but given a distinctly human nature, colored by a decade of meta-level humor and twisted fantasies. The horror from The Thing came from something truly inhuman and unnatural intruding upon our reality, while Society's horror lies within unbound human nature. What depravity and unrestrained decadence may one find beneath the silky white veneer of those upper classes, whose power and influence puts them above petty human laws and moralities? The concept is as outdated as Satanism, and I have seen erotic art that makes the film look like a Victorian novella, but it's still fun for what it is, and even if it doesn't do enough with it, the implications are intriguing. All of high society being amorphous monsters that have ruled humanity like cattle for the past 10,000 years, living in unparalleled hedonia with every base urge made manifest, used to be a terrifying concept. Of course, now that it's out in the open, people are strangely okay with it. But what if that's only a half-truth? What if there is something noxious hiding behind those beautiful smiles? Something inhuman with intentions contrasting those of humanity at large? What if The Thing escaped and placed itself at the top of human power structures to command society at a global level? That's pretty much my idea for a Society TV show that actually has nothing to do with the 1989 movie. Or the 2002 video game. Or the 2011 prequel. Fuck it, this is just another dead branch of the genre. Anyway, as I imagined it, Outpost 31 was in reality a very pointless research station since there was no actual research going on there, at least nothing that I could see in the movie, and was more a stake of claim by the US government in accordance with the Antarctic Treaty System. As such, it was filed away and forgotten about for several decades. That's not to say the creature has been idly waiting. At the explosion that seemed to kill it in 1981, part of it survived, and rather than risk dying by staying, it became a husky and set off into the frigid wastes. By happenstance it came across the local wildlife and absorbed them, becoming one with them that it could survive. However, a few years later, two icebreakers, the Erebus and the Terror,
because references make stories better,
are journeying through one of the ice fields as part of an expedition of sort. The expedition is spearheaded by a young heir of a then small computer company. The Thing, having since adapted to the freezing temperatures, sinks one of the ships and kills the whole crew, bar the heir I mentioned earlier. Using the heir as a disguise, it joins the other ship to be taken into human society. From this point on, many things happen, but the most important thing is The Thing uses its considerable knowledge of technology to improve the company's products, and its frightening powers of absorption, possession, and a growing sense of tactics and strategy to raise the company into one of the most influential and powerful franchises in the world. All the while improving itself with samples of every being on the planet, intending to guide us towards unknown and most likely horrible goals. I don't think I'll ever develop this idea, but it seemed fun enough to not do something with it, so I made this poster for it. As you can see, it's an homage to the original movie poster, with the person in a parka, but with the hood turned down to suggest mystery and hidden intentions, and the person approaching the light with desolation and destruction in its footsteps. It comes in from the deathly plains and approaches the light of civilization, or something to that effect. As I imagined the show, it'd be creepy with lots of under-the-surface horror, but every now and again a stomach would bare its teeth or tendrils would move beneath the skin. It'd just be reserved for the more dramatic moments, as the show would mostly focus on figuring out what the creature is intending while simultaneously combating it. I think it would have been fun to see, and maybe one day we will, but for now, this is the best I can do. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Core Scratches, and I hope you will see me again in the next video.